5 creepiest plane crashes of all time. Flying, just like any other modern technology that evolves and improves over time. The sad part is, this is done by trial and error. In an industry that requires well-calculated moves and on-the-spot decision-making, there will always be mishaps. There's that, and there's also freak accident. Here are 5 creepiest plane crashes of all time. So buckle up and let's begin. But first, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Number 5. American Airlines Flight 587 in 2001. One of the more recent flights on this list is a plane that regularly flies from the John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York to the Dominican Republic and vice versa. As all of us probably know, 2001 was a very hard year for America. Just a couple of months after the tragic 9/11 attack, the American Airlines Flight 587 crashed into a neighborhood in Queens just a few minutes after takeoff. This raised suspicions of a terrorist-led attack following 9/11. Turns out it wasn't. So what happened? Investigations have revealed that the plane crashed due to rudder overuse, which is simply a human error, when the vertical stabilizer detached from the aircraft, which also led the agents to separate, causing the crash. Unfortunately, this pilot's error ended the lives of 200 people on board, and another 5 unfortunate passersby died on the streets of Queens. Number 4. Saudi Arabian Airlines Flight 163 in 1980. Okay, so this isn't exactly a crash if we're talking about technicalities. This particular incident is on the list simply because it is just as deadly, if not deadlier, than the other crashes. In fact, this is the deadliest aviation accident that did not involve in an actual crash. How did this happen? The flight took off from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, bound to Jeddah. But minutes later, they came back to the airport for an emergency landing due to a fire in the cargo area of the plane. Can you guess what happens next? Oh, just another series of unfortunate twists and turns. The plane failed to initiate an immediate emergency evacuation. It took a while to get a safe landing, and by the time the pilot managed to get the aircraft back to a safe area to land, it was already too late. The 301 people from that flight had already died from the smoke. It is said that 2 butane stoves started a fire in the cargo area. Definitely a tragic way to go. Number 3. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 in 2014. One of the eerest crashes on this list is the Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 bound to Kuala Lumpur from Beijing. What's even eerier is, it's the most recent one on our list. So what happened there? Just something you'll never think would happen outside your fantasy TV shows. A plane that literally disappeared from the sky mid-flight. The air traffic lost all contact with no alert, warnings, or indications of anything wrong. Millions of dollars were spent conducting extensive searches for the aircraft all across, but nothing seemed to have turned up, and all those who were missing made no contact whatsoever. So what happened to the plane now? Has it finally been found? The answer is most likely. A flaperon, a critical part of a plane's control center, was found on Reunion Island 3,070 miles out over a year later. Experts conclude that the flight changed its course for reasons no one knew about until this day. All 239 people on board were never found. Sounds eerily similar to the beginning of the TV series Lost, doesn't it? Number 2. American Airlines Flight 191 in 1979. Possibly America's worst aviation disaster came about on a Friday afternoon of a Memorial Day weekend in the late 70s. It feels just like a scene out of a movie that you would never ever wish to experience. The plane's left engine fell off, causing it to crash and burn immediately after the takeoff. The plane burst into a pillar of smoke that could be spotted up to 8 miles out, killing 271 people on board. There were also 2 fatalities on the ground. We made it to our number 1 creepiest plane crashes on this list, and it's about to get intense, really intense. Fasten your seatbelts and let's continue. Number 1. Air India Express Flight 812 in 2010. Considered the deadliest aviation accident on Indian soil, killing 158 people. Only 8 people survived, and the most ironic thing is, the accident happened during the last phase, landing. The plane was landing in Mangalore Airport, one of the few runways in the country located near a cliffside. In this case, the runways proved to be extremely limited, leaving very little room for human error. Unfortunately, the pilot did not make the landing. In result, the plane went past the runway and ended up falling over the cliff, causing the plane to disintegrate. Indeed, a freak accident that no one could have predicted. I mean, they were already landing. Isn't it that even more tragic? We've reached number 1 on our list of creepy plane crashes. But before the big reveal, don't forget to like and share this video and hit the subscribe button while you're at it, would you? Who here has a fear of air travel now after watching this video? Give us a shout out in the comment section. We are Curious and Command, signing off and urging you to stay curious.